Gray Area talks about sex, relationships, mental health, and more. Our content is intended for a mature audience, and the views and opinions expressed on the show are those of the talent and guests alone and are provided for informational purposes only. We want to talk to you, but this is a TV show, and our hosts are not qualified healthcare professionals. If you're depressed, feel your life is at risk, or need immediate assistance, please seek professional help or dial 911.
What's up, everyone? I'm Sasha Grey, and this is Gray Area.
What's good, everyone? I'm Dumbfoundead, and we are back at our new later time with more sex and swearing during sex.
Shit-ass cunt titty cunt, and if you could hear that, you're watching the uncensored version on YouTube.
Nice.
Get it?
Now, Sasha, you told me your mom watches the show. Does she watch the censored or uncensored version?
Man, you just ruined it. She didn't know there were options. Now she's gonna come at me like, oh, this is great. This is great. I don't have to hear those words. No.
Oh, Lord.
But what about you? Do your parents watch the show?
Yeah, the uncensored Korean version of it.
Right.
No. I'm kidding. VENN does not provide that, but you guys got to get on that so my mom could watch it. No, my mom doesn't really understand, speak or understand English too well. But yesterday I was at my niece's birthday party, and she did mention that she watches the show, which surprised me.
What? Yeah, that surprises me because you told me in the past she didn't.
It's a good sign. We're on to something here with this.
Yes.
My mom's watching it, yeah.
All right, well, speaking of parents, that's what we're talking about today. All the complexities of that relationship growing up, and if as an adult, it's possible to come to an understanding with them, even if we don't understand each other at all. With this election coming up, we thought it was a really good time to talk about this.
Well, my parents don't vote, so at least I don't have to worry about that one, but I am gonna get on that. It's gonna be quite the feat to get them to the polls, but.
So what was your relationship with your parents like growing up versus how it is now?
It was tough. You know, there was immigrant parents trying to make ends meet, so they weren't there for me all the time, trying to like help me with homework or anything. Like, you know, my teachers would be like, get this signed by your parents, and they'd be like, oh, just sign it yourself, because they didn't know what was going on in that form, which was nice. But there was language barriers, and we tried to work through it, and it was really tough, and it took years to kind of have a relationship with them, but we're at a good place now.
That's good to hear.
Yeah, how about you?
Yeah, well, unfortunately, my dad passed a few years ago, so that sucks. With my mom, I would have to say, like, growing up, and even now, actually, we've always been polar opposites. So I was very inquisitive. I questioned everything. She was extremely religious. My father was not at all. So that was also, I think, difficult and confusing growing up. But now I feel like as I've gotten older, I'm able to have conversations with her and not get so heated if I disagree with a point of view she has. And I really don't care as much. I don't want to argue. I don't have time for that. I don't have time for drama. I want to feel love, and I want to be free and happy. Like,
you got to learn how to communicate with your parents. It's like a parent whisperer thing.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Definitely. All right, well, we're super excited to be joined by someone else who's been through a whole journey with their parents and come out the other side thriving. They are a singer, dancer, actor, host, and self-proclaimed Vampire King. Their new EP is called Wet Metal, and they've also appeared in Hulu's Into the Dark and Showtime's Shameless. It's Chester Lockhart.
How old do your friends think I am? How old do your friends think I am? You know, your friends who are ugly, they're not gonna look like me when they get to be my age.
Oh, Michelle, how are you, hon?
Is he, you know?
I just wanted to introduce you guys to my new boyfriend. So sweet.
On you.
I really hope this lasts. And I think that's a win for everybody.
Hi, Chester. Thank you so much for being here.
Not this fucking thing.
The dumpster was a nice touch, though.
Yeah, that's my apartment. That's where I live.
Our guests always love the montage. Before we talk about your parents, want to get to know you.
Okay.
So
I'm sorry. in advance.
So you describe yourself as a gender fluid, half Korean vampire king. And
Okay, first of all, I do want to point out that when we did pre-production, I specified that it should have said actress, sing-tress, post-tress, dance-tress. So I feel like maybe, I don't know whose fault that is, but someone's getting
let's
fired
blame it on
today.
the writer.
Yeah, absolutely.
Writer, are you okay?
Thank you, guys.
The
Are you okay?
Sorry. Did not mean to interrupt.
The Vampire King has spoken.
Yes,
Yes.
yes. The fangs are out.
All right, so Out Magazine called one of your songs a spooky queer banger. Like, how do you feel about that? It's October now. Do you agree with that?
You know, as a straight cis male, I think that my inclination is to be offended, but you know, I am tolerant as long as people don't shove it down my throat, you know? So that was nice of them. I like to be included for the community. Just don't do it in
That's
front of me.
actually the genre my songs are labeled under on Spotify as well.
Yes.
I know. Actually, I am a fan of yours. When gyms were a thing, my anthem was band.
Oh, yeah,
Yes.
nice. I like
Love
this
it.
I was
guy.
very excited to be here today.
So what
Respect.
exactly is a vampire king?
I don't fucking know. I just said that one day.
Roll with it.
I don't know.
Just roll with it.
You know, I'm very, here's the thing about me. I can't go in the sun because I get cremated instantaneously. Like there's no hope of tanning.
Yeah.
So I just kind of ran with it and people were like, I don't know how old you are. And I was like, I'm 14. And so it just, you know, it just kind of became like a thing. I don't know. I've always been obsessed with vampires. Interview with the Vampire, Vampire Hunter D. Bloodlust. Those are like some of my favorite movies. So it's just always been like a thing. Yeah.
Well,
right.
last March in 2019, you posted this picture on Instagram
God.
with the caption, I have a secret to tell you guys soon. What did you know then?
COVID-19, everyone. It was
And-
me. I'm patient zero.
Oh my goodness.
It's so funny. I've always been about mask life. Like I
Yeah.
always, like when flights were a thing, I always wore my mask there.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I don't like it. And so it's been easy for me to adjust to this life. But you know, I don't want to call myself a trendsetter, but like,
Was it like an Asia influence thing? Because you know they've been wearing masks out there, and not to mention the mask is already like flyer than any mask that's out right now.
Definitely not a medically safe mask.
Yeah,
definitely not.
But a serve nonetheless, yeah.
All right, so you just released your new EP, Wet Metal.
Allegedly, yeah.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about the inspiration behind the tracks.
I was losing my mind in quarantine. I was spiraling every day, still continuing to do so. And I write and produce and record all my stuff myself. And I had just kind of been putting things off. And I thought, what better way to like journal and kind of release emotionally all of the shit that I was feeling and channel it into some sort of art. And now it's flopping because I don't promote it because of my social anxiety. And, you know,
Yeah.
that's how 2020 goes. So if you're watching this, please, God, please, anyone, please give me even 1 cent. Thank you so much.
Just one.
Just one.
Yeah.
What was the inspiration? You said, is it weird right now to, you know, release an EP or release
Yeah.
any kind of art?
Yeah, it's weird because I feel, it's like, what is the, I've been struggling personally because art has obviously gotten, I think, me and so many people through this time. It's like our only thing that's like our respite from like the crushing weight of the world. But then at the same time, it's like, I feel so stupid to promote my own like projects when there's so much
Exactly.
socio-political,
Right.
just like turmoil in the world. But
Yeah.
it's like, you have to do those things. And also I, as a person, have to eat at the end of the day.
Exactly.
I think. And so it's been difficult. It's like, you can't just focus on the socio-political events of the world, but it's hard to not be overwhelmed by it, I guess.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I think everybody's feeling that right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so we have a clip of your music video, Bound. Let's check it out.
God.
Touch my body. I know you want me. Endless pleasure. I'll be bound to your love forever. Touch my body. I know you.
All right, that is, I definitely got an 80s vibe from that.
Yes, yeah.
So
I wouldn't know
Bound.
because I'm so young.
Me either. But so I gotta ask, I have to ask, do you like to be bound? You can reveal all here.
For the right price. Yes,
Or
absolutely.
do you like to do the
The binding?
Yes, exactly.
I mean, yes, I definitely am into, can I drink this?
Yes, you can.
I don't know if this is, this is
just
fucking
for you. It's
fancy.
clean,
Is this
it's
crystal,
sanitized.
like, is it bleach? Is it hydroxy, quad,
You know?
plu, whatever it's called? This one's for you, Donald.
Oh my
Shout
goodness.
out to my good friend Donald Trump. Love you. Such a
He loves you back.
person.
He's done, the most for us.
He's not even gonna. Already, this is a shitty soundbite.
These
Someone's
are
gonna
jokes,
take
but
that.
people just,
Yeah.
these are jokes. They're
Please do
jokes.
not clip that and then post that anywhere. Sorry. What were you saying? Yes, I'm kinky. I like to be tied up. I like to tie other people up. You know?
You came to the right place. You came to the right place.
So that's it. So I'm in good company.
Yes, this is a judgment-free zone.
Love it.
Yes,
Okay.
100%. All right, so you do many things. You sing, you dance, you act. I want to know, and well, I know a little bit, but like tell our audience about your journey into entertainment. I know you started with acting, but then you branched out. So
I love how you guys actually know shit about me. God, I don't even
have to, we
I
have
don't even
to.
know stuff about myself. I grew up doing the arts. I grew up in a super conservative, kind of like shitty little town in the Inland Empire. And I didn't fit in, and I was always super artistic. I think there's like a video of me at like 3 or 4, and I took all my clothes off in the kitchen, and I would like wrap a towel around my head and sing Whitney Houston. I think I Want to Dance with Somebody was the first song that I knew. And my parents were still shocked when I came out. And I just always loved, that was my outlet. And then as I got older and I felt that I didn't necessarily fit in with other people, that was like not only my only community, because that was where any like-minded people were, but it just was such a deep passion of mine. I think I was really drawn to acting because it was like I could play different people and I didn't have to live my life, unfortunately. And so I had some troubled teenage years. I moved to LA. And I was like, oh, this is gonna be it. This is gonna be where everyone's gonna love and accept me because it's a big city. And then I would go to auditions if I could fucking get one. And I was too femme. They would be like, you're a little ethnically ambiguous. And I was like, what the fuck does that mean?
Yep.
And it's just such a different contrast to today, where those things are, much more celebrated. And now there's so many roles that are specifically for people like me. But it's been like a long up and down journey, and a lot of my years in my 20s, I fucked up my age. In my teens, oh shit!
like,
Edit
wait,
that
what?
out over live. Fuck. Okay. I did a lot of behind the scenes work for a long time because I
Right.
didn't feel accepted in the industry, and then I had some traumatic health events happen, and I was like, you could die at any point. And when you're 23 and faced with like the fact that you could have died, you suddenly realize like, oh, like everything is meaningful. Like you have to treat each day like it truly is your last in a lot of ways. And
Definitely.
so I started living for myself for the first time, and that's when I started doing music and got back into acting.
Yeah.
And
That's beautiful. I'm really glad you were able to find like that motivation to continue on and make something positive out of it.
Yeah.
So we know you don't shy away from telling it like it is. We're gonna play
God.
a little game we call 20 and 60.
Okay.
Dumb is gonna fire off 20 questions, and we're gonna see how many you can answer in 60 seconds.
Okay.
And
great.
we do have a leaderboard with some scores to beat. We got like 15 questions. Audrey Peters, she was a fast talker. I feel like you might be able to beat that as well.
Okay, I'm ready. Now, are these like trivia? Just ask.
That's trivia. Okay, so here we go. Hooking up with an ex, good idea or bad?
Bad idea.
A historical figure you crush on?
Benjamin Franklin.
Last person you texted?
Mom.
Would you ever date a fan?
Pass.
Favorite game of all time?
Final Fantasy X-2.
Oh,
What did your parents call you when they were mad at you?
Fag.
damn.
Most used emoji?
Crying.
Do you want to have children one day?
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
What's the worst sex advice your parents gave you?
Do it.
Calling someone daddy in bed, hot or not?
Depends on if they're your father.
Did your parents spank you?
Yes.
Age you started drinking around your parents?
22?
Most annoying thing your parents do?
Everything?
Most annoying thing you do to your parents.
Oh God, I don't let them.
You can say the last one. You can say the last one.
It got dark. I don't. I'm not very forgiving.
Okay, well, that was 14, just one shy away from the top score.
I want a rematch.
Yeah.
And the answer to the question about calling someone daddy in bed, followed up by, did your parents spank you, was really awkward, by the way.
Yep, I love it.
If you're watching this, Dad.
Things are
my
getting weird.
goodness.
Yeah.
If you're watching us on YouTube, hit that subscribe button or follow us on Twitch. We're at watchvenn.
And when we come back, we're talking about the mother of all of our problems, our mothers.
Just wait till your father gets home. We're gonna talk about him too. Sorry, I did that really weird.
Too soon.
I apologize.
Too soon. Too soon.
Hey, Mom. This whole situation is so great. You mean the pandemic? You know, people can't just waltz into my office anymore. They have to make an appointment now. I really hope this lasts. Mom, people are dying.
Welcome back to Gray Area. Tonight we're here with Chester Lockhart, and I might be your uncle, but tonight we're talking about parents.
If you're the uncle, I feel like I'm the weird cousin that smokes weed with grandma on Thanksgiving.
That's like, sorry, my Twitch fans already named you auntie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's stamped, approved, sealed,
Okay,
signed,
that's
sealed,
what it
delivered.
is. All right.
But that would be normal in my household. So let's talk about that clip. Is your mom really that savage?
First of all, how dare you guys look at my social media? I'm gonna fucking delete everything. Yes, my mother is I call her like a snatched Korean dragon lady. Like she's very just so, it doesn't even mean to be super shady. I was in town visiting them in like 2018 with my friend. And we met up at this like restaurant after, and she'd come straight from work, and she looked at all of my friends, and she was like, oh, you guys look so nice, all dressed up. I love that. And my friend was like, oh, you look so nice too, Mrs. Lockhart. And she's like, well, I just came from work. And she's like, well, but you still look great. And she's like, no, I know that. I'm just letting you know I came from work.
Whoa.
So this is very like, that's just how she is all the time, yeah.
That's...
You have any impersonations of your parents, Sasha?
Any impersonations? Okay. My mom would say something like this, like, you know, make sure you do your squats because when you get older, that skin around your knee, it starts to sag. You don't want that. I'm like, not because you need, you know, the strength to get out of bed, Mom. No, for the sagging.
Number one thing I look for is knee sagging. Yeah, that's where my main concern is. Yeah.
That's one of those things. My mom is tough on the skin too. Every time I visit her, she always criticizes my skin and tries to give me some skin product like that's super expensive, she says. So she'll only give me half of it. Like she cuts like a bar of soap in half with a butter knife and then wrap it in saran wrap. Like this is expensive, so make sure you use it.
All right, so you're in a good place with your parents these days, but you weren't always.
Yeah.
What was that journey like for you, learning to find a balance?
Yeah, they're super conservative Christians. My mother is a Korean immigrant. My father was born and raised in California. He's 70 now, so just a big generational gap because I'm 8 years old. And it's, it was really difficult growing up because I was not those things. And, you know, my parents are people who show love by being hard asses. Like the more that they want to intervene really shows how much they care, and they cared about me a lot. And looking back now, it's like, you know, in the moment, I really felt like they hated me. When you're young, I feel like you think of your parents as not being human. And so if they do something that is hurtful to you unintentionally, you would just assume that they really meant to hurt you and whatever. And as I've grown older, I've realized, you know, nothing, even if it was problematic or hurtful, that they did was not something that was, they genuinely thought they had my best interest in mind.
Exactly.
All the time.
Parents always worry.
Exactly.
They always worry.
And so when I got to that place, I started to kind of forgive them for a lot of the hurtful things. You know, I went to some Christian camps, and
Ooh.
I've been to one of those.
Yeah, and I was outed to my parents by my pastor's son. Like it was just a whole ordeal, and it was very dramatic. And also, it's like when you're a kid, you kind of ignore the like life circumstances of your parents. Like my parents were going through like, I don't know, like horrible financial stuff, my dad's health, on top of trying to understand this very outrageously queer child that they had no way to relate to, even though they tried, and just completely disapproved of that. So it was very, you know, I was told my whole life, if you're gay, you're gonna go to hell. My dad literally said, you know, he was like, with tears in his eyes, he'd be like, I just don't want you to have to deal with this your whole life because I don't want you to get AIDS and die. Like,
Wow.
So that was my view of myself and of queer people in general growing up. And I realize now, like, he's misinformed, he's a product of his generation.
Exactly.
And that wasn't meant to be as hurtful as it was. So
That's just the information he had.
exactly.
Yeah.
So I think with time, with maturity, with being able to look back and having empathy for your parents, especially if you have a tough relationship, that's what kind of heals the wounds and enables you to bring yourself back. And I think for them as well, they look back on that time and they realize that they handled things poorly, you know?
Definitely.
They didn't know I was being bullied. They didn't know anything, you know, because I didn't know how to talk to them about it. Yeah.
Okay, well, let's bring someone new into the gray area family. We have Queen Henny
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Yes. Come on, makeup.
from Germany.
From Germany, looking fabulous over here.
Yes.
Hi.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Chester.
Hi, honey.
So what's your question for us?
I have a pretty good relationship with my mom, but I cannot tell her personal and emotional stuff about myself. And how can I feel good about this kind of relationship we have?
Thank you for that question. Does she know that you do drag? Does she know that you, okay.
She does. She knows I'm gay. She knows I'm a drag queen, but it's the very personal stuff, which is like what makes me anxious and what I'm sad about, and I just cannot talk to her about that.
Do you feel like you can talk to your friends about those things? Is it just with, okay. Has she ever said something to you that made you feel like you couldn't speak to her about those personal issues?
No, not really. I just feel that she has issues for herself, and I just don't want to kind of pull her down further.
I think number one, always prioritize yourself and your mental health, you know, at the end of the day. And especially with parents, I think they're from a generation where talking about mental health is sort of a stigma. And the way to change that is you have to just open up about it. And I think not only will she appreciate so much that you're sharing the deepest parts of yourself with her, because it seems like she really cares for you and accepts you, but beyond that, maybe it will allow her to open up to you about those things that maybe you don't necessarily realize that she's also struggling with. So I think just go for it and remember that she loves you. Completely, yeah.
Well, Queen Henny, thanks for calling. We appreciate that. And that first step is, you know, always scary, but it's better than just cutting that relationship cold with each other.
Definitely.
Yes. Yeah.
And
Well, thanks for calling, Henny. Appreciate that.
thank you.
We got another caller right now, Aaron.
Hi, Aaron.
Hi, Aaron.
Hey, everyone.
How you doing, Aaron?
Doing pretty good. How about you guys?
Good. What's your question?
Awesome. So with the timely situation of politics right now, how do you protect your emotional energy from like family members?
This is a lot of good questions.
I struggle with this.
Yeah, I think a lot of people struggle with this, but I'm in the frame of mind that you should always continue to have conversations, no matter how difficult they are. And about protecting yourself, you have to know, you know, is there a right time and a right place? There isn't always a right time or a right place. So I think it's about giving yourself in your own personal space and on your own time ways to shut off, disconnect, go for a walk, read a book, you know, sign off of the internet. And it's about your personal relationships, but it's also about the online information that we're constantly being given. And I think that has a lot to do with how we're all feeling right now. Like it's difficult for all of us. It feels nonstop.
Yeah. I think also it's so important to remember that just the way that we all have our beliefs for a reason, like especially when people say things that are contrasting and sometimes hurtful, especially to queer people, like there's a reason, there's a backstory why those people believe those things, and whether they're misinformed or they just come from a different reality than you. I think taking a step back and always remembering that those people are humans too is a way that I kind of decompress and allow myself to be like, okay, this is not a personal thing that someone is saying to me. This is a product of their environment, and it allows me to kind of disengage from the hurtful comments. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Sure.
Love your hair.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks for calling.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, when we come back, we'll talk about sex with our parents.
No, hard pass on that one.
Yeah, well, not sex with our parents, sex adjacent to our parents, the subject of sex as it relates to our parents.
Yeah, still a no from me on that.
All right, all right. Next week, AJ Mitchell and Big Frida will be joining us. With the election coming up, we'll dive into everything voting and how to get your voice heard.
But tonight, we're here with the iconic Chester Lockhart. I leaned into that iconic. I was like,
It was good. I felt it.
Yeah.
Chester, do you feel like this tough relationship with your parents throughout the years affected your emotional growth?
Yes!
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
And I mean, you know, you've talked about also just growing up in such a religious environment. When do you feel like you really began to love yourself and understand yourself? Because I can definitely agree, understand and relate to like feeling alone in your thoughts and in your identity.
I think I truly understood. So as a teen, I viewed myself as being kind of worthless because I was like, okay, my parents hate me, my environment hates me, the people who are non-religious hate me, the people who are very religious in my community did not like me. And so I really viewed myself as not anything, like I just had no self-worth. And it wasn't until, honestly, maybe 2 years ago that I really started, going to therapy and realizing that, my dad struggles with depression, and he'll never say that, but I understand exactly. And now looking at him, I'm like, got it, I get this from you. And he's a very intelligent man, so smart, and he's made a lot of really bad business decisions. And so he's not necessarily been as successful as he could have been. And he sat me down 2 Christmases ago, and he was like, I see a lot of myself in you and how you don't value yourself. And the people that are truly successful, and he's like, a lot of my friends are not as hardworking as me, not as intelligent as me, do not have the same tenacity. They're much more successful than me because they made room in their lives to accept good things because they felt that they deserved those things.
Wow.
And unless you make room in your life for those things, you'll never achieve what you want.
Some
Do you feel like that was,
happening.
do you feel like that was some sort of validation that you needed from your parents too?
Absolutely. I think I was validation. I think it's like a lot of things. It was like acknowledging that we're similar in our like mental follies and whatever. It was, him looking out for me and really wanting the best for me. And it was from him, he's very like a tough, stoic guy, to hear him be that vulnerable and talk about valuing yourself. That really rang true for me in that
Those
moment.
are big
Definitely.
moments in relationships.
Yeah.
Well, we thought it would be fun to see Chester give us a very different kind of emotional stunting.
Okay, so we're gonna read some scenarios, and Chester, you're gonna give us your best stunt that they inspire straight to that camera.
Okay,
Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Your mom walks in on you masturbating. You accidentally send a sext to your dad, not a text.
These are uncanny resemblance to my reactions as well. So.
I like the lights too. You're showing your parents some travel photos and scroll past a bunch of dick pics in your camera roll. Your mom tries to tell you about her sex life with lots of details. Oh my goodness, I love it. Well, if you can't talk to mom and dad, you can always talk to us, your uncle and weird cousin or auntie, whatever they want to say. Precious from Baltimore is here right now to join us.
Hey, Precious, how you doing?
Hi guys, how are
Hi.
you?
How you doing? What's your question for us?
My question is, now I don't have any children, but of course I have friends that have children and family members that have children. But have you guys ever been asked such an inappropriate, almost embarrassing question from someone else's child, how do you respond?
That's a tough one. I have been in that position. The first thing I have to ask, like, did somebody come to you with a question like this?
Well, yes, all the time. But I actually remember when I was younger, I watched a movie. I don't know if you guys ever seen this movie. It's called Meteor Man.
Yep, classic.
I asked my mom what an orgasm was.
Wow.
Okay.
Totally mortified after having done that. But
That's a tough one to answer.
Yeah. I mean, having these conversations with somebody else's kids, somebody else's children, are always difficult, especially if that person is perhaps more conservative and isn't willing to speak about those things. And you don't want to break the trust of the child. And you also don't want to break that trust with the parent as well, right? I feel like it's a really fine line.
I say mind your business.
Yeah.
Sorry. Wait, if it's because it's the parents' place, especially with topics as sensitive as that, to talk about those things, and it's just not. I would not feel.
And I'm glad no one explained what an orgasm was to me, because that was the most lit surprise I've ever received.
I mean, I would, to stay on the safe side, you know, I would respond with something along the lines of, there will be people that will judge you for these things, and there will be people that are understanding, but I will never judge you, but I don't feel like it is my place. And hopefully they're old enough to understand that.
All right, Precious, I hope that helps.
So let them know that, you know, they can count on you,
Yeah.
and that you're not shutting them down and not shaming them. I think that's the most important part.
Well, thanks for
sure.
calling, Precious. Appreciate
Thank you,
it.
guys.
Bye.
Thank you.
All right. Bye.
So we asked you, which was worse, walking in on your parents having sex or having your parents walk in on you?
You voted on Twitch, Twitter, and Insta, and here's what you said. Walking in on your parents at 58%,
Ooh.
and parents walking in on you at 42%.
All right, what do you think, Chester? What would be worse for you?
You know, as a virgin, I don't really have experience there, but I have walked in on my parents having sex.
Really?
Yeah, they were doing great.
They're doing great.
You're doing
Keep it
great,
up.
Mom and Dad. I've
about
had
you?
both of those things happen.
Both?
Yeah, both of those things happened. It was
Ooh.
embarrassing, you know, when Mom walked in.
Yeah, I feel like I would I walked in on my parents when I was really young.
Yeah.
And I remember, it's like burned into my memory.
Did you understand what was happening?
I understood it. No, not at the time. Definitely not at the time. And I just thought it was funny, but they were like, you have to leave now. And
Yeah.
so
I
it
literally
wasn't.
walked in and hung out with them.
Oh, Jesus.
We were on vacation when I was like 8, and I walked in, and they were definitely, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, what are you guys doing? I'm bored. And then I walked in and just started like hanging out, and they were like,
Oh.
My mom
Like-
was more composed than me. Didn't drop one sliced fruit when she walked in. Yeah.
not a sliced fruit.
Oh my goodness, she was like, even take one for after. All right, we have to take a quick break, but don't go anywhere.
That's right. You're grounded. I brought you into this world, and I can take you out. Let's go.
Oh.
My dad would not talk like this.
Put a finger down while my mom reacts edition. Put a finger down if you've ever done drugs. Put a finger down if you ever kissed a boy. Put a finger down if you've ever snuck someone in your house. Put a finger down if you ever drank alcohol on purpose or more than like a sip from like your parents' drink. Put a finger down if you've ever taken money from your mom.
Welcome back to Gray Area, and we're here with Chester Lockhart. The producers actually asked if I would bring on my mom for some Put a Finger Down, and well, her fingers were a little busy, but no, that was just a big fat no for me.
Yeah, my mom barely speaks English, so that was an easy no for me. She would mess that game up too somehow.
So instead, we're bringing on the two youngest members of our team and their parents to play.
This is called paying your dues in Hollywood.
All right, Marley and Devin, thank you so much for joining us. Can you introduce us to your parents?
This is my dad, Gary, and I'm his favorite daughter.
What's up, Gary?
It's true.
This is my mom, Christine, and she's a very nice lady. And yeah, that's her.
That's the best intro. Very nice lady. I like
Hi,
that.
Christine. And can you guys introduce yourselves to our audience and what you do here at VENN?
My name's Marley. I'm one of the associate producers.
I'm Devin. I'm a production assistant.
And they are great, trust me.
Yes, they are.
That was your monthly evaluation, right?
Yeah,
there.
Devin is quite often on this wall while we do rehearsals, playing
And
our guest callers.
You guys are very brave for doing this, so thank you so much. Let's put up our hands right now and get ready to play this game. This is Put a Finger Down. And we're gonna, list a bunch of crazy things and see if you've lived a full life or not.
Let's check it out, all right? So put a finger down if you've used a vibrator. All right. You've put a finger down if you've sent nudes. All right. You've given or received roadhead.
No, my dad.
Yes, I was waiting for Dad. I knew it. Okay, good. We got something.
No favorites.
No favorites. You like it doggy style. Yeah. Team Marley is
Also, I
in
have
the
to
lead.
go back to work after this.
I have to go back and see your mom.
All right, you've been on drugs in front of your parent or child.
Is that one or two fingers?
Oh, yes. You've given your child a special name because he or she keeps interrupting you while you're having sex.
Oh my God.
Okay, be nice, please.
You've cheated on your partner. Ooh. Oh, nobody there. Nobody.
I don't know. I saw a flinch or two.
Yeah,
I'm just
I
gonna
saw a
say.
flinch.
Not my current partner.
Yeah, not a current. She said.
You've questioned your sexuality.
Yeah, look at my haircut. Oh my God.
I've questioned your sexuality.
You've questioned your parent or child's sexuality. Gary already kind of answered that one. So
I've seen my dad drunk.
Oh, man. All right, you've given a lap dance. Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Devin's mom. All right, you've swallowed.
I'm polite.
Called what?
I'm polite, yes.
Now it's getting awkward over here.
You've had a threesome.
Whoa!
Oh, you're
Go, Dad.
Shut up.
That is
You
lit.
make me do this.
You've stolen your child's weed and smoked it. Oh, yeah, Christine's surprising us here. She's
That was
surprising
a
us
quick
now.
thumbs down.
I'm still on the threesome. I'm still reeling.
Oh, man. You've had period sex. Yeah.
Dad, be a feminist.
Dad, be a
Damn,
feminist.
5 minutes.
Really? I'm shocked on that one. You've had anal sex? Oh.
Interesting.
Gary, I feel like Gary's like, I can't be the last one, the first one out. It can be giving it. I'm not talking about just receiving it, by the way.
Oh my God.
Yes. Had to make that clear. You've gotten pulled over for driving impaired.
Oh.
Wow. Dang. All right. You've had sex in a public place. Oh, yeah.
We're close.
I'm thinking
Here we
of me. You've tried pegging.
Well, isn't that?
I don't know if I'm more worried about my dad or my work.
Well,
for that.
you just told us on television.
So much,
All
yeah.
right, so Marley,
Wait, are you out?
Marley is the winner.
Yeah,
Marley is the
Marley's
winner.
out. Gary, you're almost right there with her.
I gotta say, Mom and Dad kind of killed that right there. Nine fingers down.
Christine was like hanging on for a minute, and then she came in with a few surprises.
Yeah, I've got
What do you
some.
guys think of those answers, Devin and
I
Marley?
hated that game.
Too much
You know what?
truth for one day.
It makes me feel better about being a bad daughter. I feel like he was.
There you go.
You're just following in
You're
your
not a
parents'
bad
footsteps, is
daughter.
what it sounds like.
Equal.
Right.
Equal now.
Yeah.
What do the parents think?
Apple in the tree.
Devin, how'd you feel about that?
We're a modest family. There's not much to say.
One of you is.
Yeah, one of you. Yeah.
Your mom, not so much. Love it. Thank you
I like
so
to
much.
have fun.
Yeah. Thank you guys for being
that
such
was
troopers on this.
super
Appreciate
fun.
it. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks, guys.
Devin, Marley, we'll have a talk after.
Have a nice
Gary-
recovery, Marley.
What do you guys fight about with your parents nowadays?
It's still always religion.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
It always goes, because again, it goes back to like, it's not bad advice, like you said. It's what they know, but it's just conversations and things. I wouldn't even say it's arguing, but it's just simply fundamental differences in ideologies. And my feeling is like, look, I respect your wishes, just respect mine. I respect your beliefs, respect mine. But I wouldn't say there's like,
Yeah. Has the religious part about with your parents intensified, or
has it gotten worse as it got older?
It's just stayed the same.
Stayed the same.
But they're much better about. It's really my dad. He's much better about, just kind of giving me space and freedom, because I think he realizes, he's like, well, we tried to make you not be queer and it did not work. So, but I argue with my parents. I mean, on every single political issue, we disagree on absolutely every single thing down the line, and religious.
That's
so
tough.
yeah.
I mean, the holidays are coming up. There's a lot of different opinions at the dinner table. What is the best way to cope with that?
Again, with my family at least, what works is we just try to avoid the topic, because it's like we'd rather focus on loving each other right now more so than the argument and the dissent, because we already know we disagree. That's the lovely thing about disagreeing on absolutely everything, is that I already know what your answer is going to be, so why do we even talk about it?
You really figured this out and got it down to a science.
Work smart, not hard. Yeah, absolutely.
That's true. I mean, I feel like with my parents, it takes such a long time to heal and get to that place, right? But there's two directions you can go. You can completely cut off your family, which I've seen friends and friends do, or you can try to empathize, and that's a tough journey.
I think it depends on that. It's always circumstantial, like you said. It depends on the specific relationship, and if it becomes toxic or abusive, like that's the cutoff point, right? Where somebody is constantly interfering with your life, constantly putting you down. I think that is a cause for much needed space.
I know my mom and my dad have terrible relationships with their parents and their siblings, and I think that kind of trickled down to us. And me and my sister are kind of making efforts to kind of break that cycle of our just lineage of terrible relationships. I mean, how are your relationships with your parents and their family members?
I mean, we have, my father is not, but his brothers and sisters are all Mormon. So I have like a million cousins, and I don't speak to anyone on his side of the family, essentially, because they didn't want anything to do with me growing up. And my mom's side of the family is very small, and I'm very close with all of them. And, they're very, in comparison to my parents, they're much quieter about their political opinions, even though they do disagree with me. So it's quite easy and quite respectful when we talk about it. Growing up, there were a lot of situations with, especially the dad side of my family, where I was really in uncomfortable dinner conversations and felt like people were constantly saying things on purpose in order to, get an edge on me. And I think it's about setting boundaries for yourself and respecting yourself. And when I would initially remembering that they're people, but then at a certain point when it's so hurtful to you, I just kind of, went into my happy place and changed the topic or did whatever I can, to avoid that trauma, I guess.
All right, we have to take a quick break, but we'll be right back. We're back in the gray area with Chester Lockhart, where we've been talking about the reason we're all here, Mom and Dad.
Well, yeah, your mom boned your mom. Wait, sorry, your dad boned your mom. That's why you're here. Think about it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, tonight's show is basically a therapy session. So let's sum up how to maintain a good relationship with your parents in 4 words.
4 words.
Do not be gay.
We do need the humor today. We do need the humor.
Always set clear boundaries. Yeah,
right.
that's talking about the sliced fruit situation. Yeah.
Okay, remember they're people too.
Great, that one's great.
Empathy.
I changed my answer to that one. Yeah.
All right, so do you think you'll be equipped to do a better job if you decide to become a parent?
Ooh, that's interesting. You know,
we're equipped with so much more information.
There's things that like my parents do, and I tell myself I never want to become them. And then you get older and you see glimpses of that, and it's scary.
Oh, it's the fucking worst. It's like when you're a kid, you're like, oh, I'm nothing like my parents, and then like I'm like slapping my back in the shower, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm
I like how that's the thing.
It's just like little thing. My dad does this thing where he like checks the integrity of like stuff. So like I find myself just kind of walking around. I'll be like.
It's solid.
And then I catch myself doing that. I think there's a lot of points, like definite things, like my dad did not have a great father and his father didn't have a great father, and I'm terrified to have children because I'm like, wow, I got a lot of fucked up shit going on in my head, and I want to heal that before passing that on potentially to my kid, but I definitely think I will be a much more active listener than my parents and much more in touch with my, like I said, you know, their generation and mental health.
Yeah.
Not a thing.
Were you able to find adults when you were younger that understood you at all?
No.
And were able to, or like even when you moved to LA?
When I moved to LA, definitely. That was where like my chosen family was. But you know, I did not have great examples of adults that I could be open with when I was a kid. And that was okay, you know, because I also wasn't, I think, equipped to deal with those issues really until I was older. And then so when I got that advice, you know, the timing is always right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Did you have
those
people?
I was definitely lucky to have a mentor in my life because I didn't have any discipline in school. And I wasn't getting it at home.
Yeah.
And I was running amok until like my early 20s where I did meet this one person that played a real role as like a parent, where I could talk my way out of things, like I could with my parents.
I think because my siblings are older than me, I just had more information and kind of that support system that maybe somebody else could have provided that. It's not the parents.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for being here. As always, we're on every Wednesday and Friday. And note our new later time, 8 p.m. Pacific. Next week, we're talking all about voting with AJ Mitchell and Big Frida.
Woo! Ooh, excited for that. Chester, thank you so much. And make sure to find us at VENN.tv and all platforms, including subscribing to our YouTube channel and Twitch.
Thank you so much for watching.
Bye.
Peace.